Hey everybody, don't mind my crazy hair. This is only like the second time I've washed it since it's been trimmed and everything. So it's a little poofier because also it's very humid, so my hair is just doing some kind of something. But we're here. Um, Back for another video. This is the second of the true story movie videos that I wanted to do. So there's some stuff to get into. Hope you liked last week. So this week we are talking about a different type of movie, a little more palatable, I guess, for more people. So I want to talk about this movie because we have not really heard a lot about it since it came out. Have the information that I'm going to put in. It is entitled Big Eyes by Tim Burton. A true story about Margaret Keane, Margaret Ulbrich, Margaret. We learn so much about her in this story. She has such a harrowing story. I actually just watched it this morning just for the research and to kind of get into the space of it. I recently watched it anyway, but I wanted to watch it again. So it is starring Amy Adams. Love her. Love her. Enchanted, The Wedding Date, Julie and Julia. She did Dear Evan Hansen when it was theatrically released. And I'm a big fan. I really think she does a good job. And it's funny because she's very musical. So like the musical things that she did, so good. So good. Love the range of talent that she has. But something interesting that usually, for me personally, I think is very rare. And actually, Kelly Clarkson was talking about this. I saw in a video that where she was interviewing her, but it's just the like that range is there where like she can be great in these serious roles too, which is so cool. This role definitely called for her to be so serious, and honestly, for me, in a story like this, I want to see the story told on your expressions. Her expressions told everything you needed. So let's first talk about the reason why I love this movie. I love the artwork. I'm gonna put up a couple pieces that I have come across. This one's my favorite. This one is my favorite. One of the most beautiful pieces I've ever seen. Just beautiful. She also did some stuff like this, a little bit different. I thought that was cool too. And then obviously this is the iconic blue dress one. I'm gonna intersplice those in there. But I just think it's so beautiful. I love art, and I think that a lot of times we don't give it enough credit for how beautiful it really is, and I love this kind of art. I don't know much about like the inner workings of it or how you say certain things, but whatever that is, I love it. I think it's so, and sometimes it could be a bad word for some people, but the only word that comes to mind when I see it is evocative. And in the way of like, you feel something when you look at it. Like when you see it, something happens. And to me, that's art. Like when I saw The Starry Night for the first time by Vincent van Gogh, that's how I felt. And this is there. So, I personally love this movie because for me, it's the fact that it's so vivid. And I think it's a testament to not only the work that she did, but also, like, a lot of people really enjoy Tim Burton's work. I'm normally not a huge fan, only because I don't really get into, like, um, I want to say dark, but I guess it is, but, like, the sort of more, avant-garde, that's the word I was searching for. I don't really always get into the avant-garde. I just kind of like, mm. But then there are times when I'm like, oh, I mean, I can vibe with it, as the young folks say. Um, and I think this is that exception. Um, so what what is this movie about? So if you haven't seen it, so we follow Margaret as she leaves one marriage and goes to work on her art with her daughter. She is I guess, the starving artist archetype at this point in the story. Just making her art and selling it as much as, for the best she can, and, doing the best she can. Comes across another man who is an artist, on that artist circuit, basically. She sees him there working on his stuff, and it begins a whirlwind romance that then she finds herself married, which I did not skip anything but dialogue. Like, it's that fast. Did it happen that fast in real life? I don't know, but it probably did. Judging by the way that the things that I have read in the past kind of show, it seems like it. It seems like this was kind of the way of it. And we see her work pretty quickly. We get to see her work. And the premise is on her work, where he asks her, like, why does it look like that? And so many people do ask that. And I've seen a lot of things where people are like, why does it look like that? And in the movie, we see her explain that when she was young, she had to have a surgery that left her temporarily deaf, and so she would find herself staring at things, and she would find herself focusing on people's expressions to tell her what they were saying. And so eyes became so important to her, and such a focal point to her, that she just created these pictures. And to me, I think that's so cool. I don't know. That's just, to me, like, I really connect with that. I really like that. And a lot of the work the focal point was her daughter, because she didn't have a lot around her. So she had a lot of different iterations that started with a little girl, because she had a little girl. And I think that's interesting, because it really does. It's like when they talk to a writer and they say, write what you know, and they talk to artists and, paint what's around you, and you see that. And I think that's so cool. I feel like she should have been a really cool person to, like, be friends with and, like, discuss art with. I don't know. I feel like we could have really connected. And so anyway, getting into, we start to see a little bit of a strange quality to Walter, the man that she ends up with, and he seems to be quite charismatic, but also, from my first viewing, I remember seeing him as kind of almost like you need to be wary of him. And for me, that, like, when I sort of feel that way, I'm like, I don't want to be around that person. So for me, I was like, I think you should get away from him. But I mean, you do you. But it was kind of like what I felt from the character. Um, Obviously, I only know like some of the things that I did read when the movie came out, that had been, shared and that I had seen, that I looked up, especially when I saw the trailer, because when I saw the trailer for this movie, I was like, I need to see the movie. Like, I was so excited to see it, and wanted to go see it in cinema, but did not get to. But I remember it was a big deal, but nobody really like talked about it enough, I think, in my opinion, because I think it's a really good movie. Another way that I know how it's good is my mom and I watched it together, and she enjoyed it too, and she's very picky about her movies. Very picky. Like, she will watch something one time, and then if she doesn't like it, she's like, I'm not watching that again. If she likes something, she'll be like, yeah, go watch it again. She watched it twice. My mom never watches a movie twice. The first time she watched it, I don't think she was really like focusing. So the second time that we watched it, like maybe about a month ago, she was in it. She was like, I really like that artwork. And then she was like, I don't trust him. And she called the whole thing. She said exactly, I'm not going to give spoilers. We try not to give spoilers around here unless it's not worth watching. If it's not worth watching, I will tell you the whole story. But if it's worth watching, and this is worth watching, I'm going to be careful how I talk so that you don't get anything and that you get the full experience when you watch. But my mom called it. She saw him in the first scene that he's in, and she was like, oh, really? And she just, from that point on, she was like, no, no, mm-mm, mm-mm. And I was just like, and she kept going, I called it, didn't I? And I'm like, I don't want to say anything. Because for me, the first time I watched it, I was like, probably more along the line of what Margaret probably was thinking. Like, is this guy for real? Like, is he just really, artsy fartsy eccentric? Or is he hiding something? Or is he, I don't, and it was really confusing. And I started to feel like maybe there was something to uncover there. So that's kind of where we see Margaret. She starts to be like, I just feel like I feel like this is all going so fast at like in the beginning, and then she kind of just succumbs to it. She just kind of surrenders to it, and I think in a way she was trying to be, I say open, but like she was trying to move past her past. And I think that's what made the situation so just strange looking at it from the outside. And then you even see like her one friend is like, are you sure? And she's like, well, I think he really wants to help, and I think he really wants to take care of us. And you see her being like, all right, but then she starts to see, and she's like, oh no. And I think the ostracization, is that a word? um, of Margaret from her friend is where it starts to be like, okay, sums up. When the guy doesn't want you, doesn't want you. I'm not saying, you know, noticing red flags in friendships. Doesn't want you to have friends at all. And it's like, you're not having, that's something wrong. Something's wrong. A guy who actually cares about you, in my opinion. If the friend is not a good friend, he's going to be like, I don't really think that's a good friend for you. And he's not going to push you, but he's going to say it in a way that's like supportive. Like, I don't know, I just feel like, that's not a good relationship for you. Somebody who's trying to control you is going to be like, you will not see them. That's a red flag. That's when we really start to be like, yeah, something's up. And we learn a very interesting tidbit of information when he begins to take credit for Margaret's work. Many people know this at this point, because it's pretty common knowledge for anyone in the art world, but I didn't know it until I saw the movie. But when you look at it, it really did become quite common knowledge that he stole her work. And one thing I will say about the end is we find out that he denied it to his death. He denied that ever happened. But who am I? I just watched the movie and, didn't live it, but it seems pretty obvious. If everything that went down really did happen, which, I mean, it seems, like I said last week, when you have situations where certain media is involved, certain elements of government are involved, certain things that are common knowledge are involved, it's pretty obvious that's kind of what happened. I saw this movie when it first was popular. It had I think just come out of cinemas and was on streaming. I don't remember where, but I know it was streaming because I remember watching it on streaming. I think it was probably Netflix. Because I was babysitting at the time. This is another movie that I watched while I was babysitting. When I nannied for a family for the better half of 3 years. And that sounds funny, but like the better part of 3 years is the better way to say it. But anyway, I digress. I watched it and I was like, I told my mom, I'm like, you have to see this because she loves art as well. And she's very into that. And I knew she would like the story. And so I watched it with her first time. And then just recently it came free on Tubi, which it is, as far as right now, it's free on Tubi. Hurry and watch it because a lot of times they take them away. But we watched it and then she was fully immersed. She was able to really focus on it and she really did enjoy it. She was like, wow, that was good. I really liked that. And I mean, I'm not saying like, again, I don't know everything. I only know the information that I did pick up when it was popular and when I started really getting into the artwork. I found a lot on Pinterest. That was kind of the original place where when I saw the movie and things were becoming popular about it, I was like saving a lot of those pictures on my Pinterest, and then I was seeing a lot of stuff from her. And yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I think personally, I would have loved to meet her. I don't know. It's just interesting. At this point, she's probably not alive. She was alive when the movie came out, which probably when it was finished was like 2011, 2012. So we're talking another And this was in the end of the 50s when she was probably in her 30s, at the end of the 50s. So you're talking years and years. I don't know much about, the whole inner workings, but I do know that for what it's worth, I think that she definitely deserved vindication, and she definitely deserves the praise that she receives for her work, because it is so beautiful. And I would love to have one of those pieces, but I probably can't afford it. So I do love the idea of, these like different, sort of different eclectic kind of avant-garde, and not really avant-garde, more eccentric. There's a difference. Avant-garde is weird in my mind, and some people would call this avant-garde. I call it eccentric because it's not that weird. It's like enhanced, if you will. And like, especially this one that's my favorite, like, I take so much from it. I don't know, it's just so beautiful. And I don't know, I feel like I could just look at it forever. I don't know. And maybe that's why she created it that way. But with that being said, I think that the coolest thing is that this is something that generations will know her work because of this. And that's such a great, great thing. I stand behind it, and definitely worth the watch. Again, did not want to give too much away, but wanted to talk about it because it was so good. It's rated PG-13, so it's not bad. It's not, there's nothing. It's not like the last one that was like rated mature or something. Which, I mean, it was good, but rating wise, this one's better. And content wise, this one's more interesting. And it's a lot less graphic, which is good. So there are thematic elements, obviously, seriousness, but it's definitely worth the watch. It's not very long either. It's like about 2 hours, so it's not that bad. And I would love to know what you think about it. So if you have seen it, or if you will end up seeing it, make sure you comment down below what you thought. What's your favorite piece of work from her? Do you have one that really speaks to you? Have you ever seen it before? Did you know anybody who knew about it? Did you know about it before the movie? I just love to hear what you guys have to say about it. And I just hope you guys stay connected, because there's more content coming, and I'm really excited about doing this. I really am enjoying it. So make sure you're tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great week. Bye.